this is the Trend Trader. Welcome back to this week's update. Please excuse my voice here for the week. I'm a little bit ill, but interesting markets here for the week, so we gotta cover that. When we take a look at the S&P, ongoing uptrend, and again, look at this. We have a bounce out of the balance zone, the place where the market is when it wants to correct, and this market has been showing us ever since the first entry here in November last year that it does not want to correct. It keeps on trending. Now we can see that we have a decrease in momentum going on. It's getting more significant here in the last 3 weeks, but as markets take up speed again, momentum's gonna rise. Just so you know, the S&P and the American indices, they like divergences a lot. When you take a look at the previous trend that had been running from 2011 down here all the way out to 2015, what you see is 8 divergences. You have your high in the momentum here, and then you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 divergences before this market actually goes down into a bigger correction, where you also have the momentum going to the other side of the balance zone. You do get stopped out in such moves. Twice we would have been stopped out here, or actually would have been in twice. We got stopped out once, and then the second time up here. Trend following here, the way we do it is really aimed to follow these big moves, and it's working. It's working in the S&P right now. It's working in any of the indices actually. If we take a look at the Nasdaq, it's the same deal. We haven't looked at this one for a while actually, but just to show you how trends work. They come back to the balance zone and then they bounce off of it. They give you the divergences, and the divergences will play out, which means prices are rising. Therefore we stay long. We also stay long still in the Nikkei. The Nikkei is very interesting here for the week. Also breakouts marked, very unthankful trend as the market comes back to the blue line. Now in the US indices you just saw that the market comes back to the green line, or somewhere between the green and the red line for internal corrections, then heading out again. Nikkei likes to go further down. It's at the blue line, and this week again it was at the blue line, but we rejected that 19,150 area pretty well, and we're now trading, or pretty much closing here, at 19,700, which is more than 600 points, or just about 600 points higher. Reversal bar that is pretty bullish in my opinion. We also have a bullish close for the week of for the month of August here, with a bar that is rejecting lower prices. Let's see if we can get some momentum going again in the Nikkei and have this at least reach the 21,000. So far, trend is still going, trend is intact. We have no reason to get out. Looking at European indices, they were also trending. They hit that high here. This is the DAX, and gave us our exit signal here. And now when I look at this, I see a turnaround forming. Maybe this week has already been the bottom. When you look at this, we are closing exactly where we opened, but during the week we broke a fractal here to the downside, but immediately rejected that low level area, and we're now probably continuing the trend. The momentum was below the zero line, so if it's a completely new move or just a divergence to this move, we'll have to see as the market continues, but something is setting up in here. FTSE we haven't seen for a while as well. Pretty interesting. Last time we talked about it, it looked like this, where it says new stop here just below that fractal, and we actually got stopped out here, but the market is now turning again and coming up a little bit more. Divergence still in play. We have not been below the zero line on the momentum indicator, which we usually want to see after a trend like this, and after we have already seen so many divergences. So if you want to get long after being stopped out in the UK, you might just want to wait another while for this to happen. Let's move over to gold. Gold, pretty interesting here. We have a breakout that finally happened. I mentioned it on Twitter as it appeared, and here is your line. After this failed breakout here, coming up, stopping us out in here, another sell that also failed. We now have a strong breakout to the upside, the bigger breakout which could send the gold market towards the 2000 mark long term, of course, is at the price level of 1375. Definitely long in gold, and we're waiting for this to play out, as we have already been long in this move here, 2016 that was. We have not been trading in here, just failing some two breakout, a buy and a sell. That didn't work, and now we try this market again. Silver is also pretty interesting, just as gold is the same kind of scenario. We are coming up after we rejected this low level here. We did not make a new low below these lows here to the left, and now the market is heading out. We're waiting for a fractal, or we buy here on top of this fractal, depending on where we are able to place a stop. That's gold and silver, which are, in my opinion, looking good for some uptrends to unfold. Again, just as a reminder, the overall situation on the monthly is always important to look at. And taking silver as an example, you can really see the down move happening here. It's a slow but deep correction going on, with an initial move again to the upside. If you don't get a new low here in this area below the previous lows that we just saw on the weekly as well, then you have your breakout right there, and in silver that would be at the 2021 mark. Then this market is able to pull up or pull off a new uptrend, as it's very likely that the breakout and this initial move here have actually been supported by the breakout, and then you have chances that this breakout is one that has potential to work. Checking some forex pairs, euro dollar was up, but again it remains true, we don't have an overall time frame that is up. The monthly chart has not broken out yet, so I'm expecting a little bit of more of a backdrop before we can see a turnaround, and then continuing more bullish in the euro dollar. Euro yen is more bullish in my opinion, as the overall time frame is up. We had already hit two breakouts. We hit another fractal this week. Let's see if this guy is gonna make it up and give us a nice trend. As you can see on the monthly chart, we are above the balance zone already. We had a breakout in here, and in my opinion, the last bullish candle that we see is the last month of August, and we are ready to move up into the area between 145 and 150. Euro Swiss franc also interesting. After it has done nothing here for quite a while, we are now above the balance zone and had our breakout signal on the weekly, and we're staying long. We have been staying long for this boring action here in the last 5 weeks, and let's see if this can take us higher as well. So this week, with a lot of breakouts, a lot of continuation of trends, looking good all over the place. Patience pays off, as you can see once again. Even if you have 5, 6, 7 weeks where your position isn't doing anything, in the end, when you do the long-term trends, very often they get picked up, and your profits are going to be awesome, just like we see in the S&P. Hopefully the Japanese Nikkei index is going to follow. We have new entry in the DAX, and euro pairs are working as well as gold. Smaller markets are also showing signals, like Canadian yen, Australian yen, Australian US dollar as well. We are long in there too. But we can't cover all of that here. This is just the update for the week. Hopefully that helped. Again, post a comment if you have a question, like the video, that helps, and see you soon.